This is my third take, and both the first and second takes were 17 minutes long. But yeah, news I have for you guys. I said I wasn't gonna upload again, so I had news on the truck, and I do have more news for you guys. Finally, have an update and our verdict on what's happening. So I'm gonna drink a sip of water, but let's get into this so I don't lose my throat and lose my voice and start bleeding from my throat due to dryness. But anyway, I'll get started here in just a second. Let's get into the news. All right, so. Last you guys heard about the sport track, we noticed that there was an electrical problem. Last time you guys heard about the sport track, we noticed there was an electrical problem, and that was kind of the last update that I had. The transmission was making noise, that the check engine light was going haywire, and the truck wasn't able to run properly. That was kind of the last I heard about it. And we have our verdict and kind of what's going on and what our plans going forward are. My first two takes of this were 17 minutes. I'm trying to cut it down, so that's kind of the goal of this third take. But pretty much, for those who are out of the loop, the truck caught fire due to a transmission-related issue. We think either one of two things happened. We think that either the pump failed inside the torque converter or transmission area. I don't know exactly what the pump is, which caused it to overheat and then catch on fire due to the fact that it was over 200 degrees at the time that it caught fire. Or that an exhaust leak, which I noticed the morning of, may have possibly shot a backfire out of the hole and may have hit a transmission line, which therefore would have sprayed transmission fluid onto the hot exhaust, which would have then ignited. So that's kind of our theories of what happened. We don't have confirmation, and it's been in a shop ever since maybe about December 21st, 22nd, maybe even the 23rd at the latest. Getting repaired, not getting repaired, but getting looked over, getting a damage assessment, and kind of trying to figure out what exactly is going on. So kind of the new details that I have for you guys is the shop. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to make this into a hit piece. I'm not going to name people. I'm not going to name the shop itself. It's not holding up their end of the deal. When the transmission fried last time around back in 2019, it really wasn't that long ago, they said that if regardless of the warranty expiration kind of date, that they would work with us on it in case something ever happened. And this is now the third time I've had transmission issues in the last 2 years. For those who don't remember, the transmission went out, I had it fixed, and then a solenoid went out, I lost fifth gear. That was fixed under warranty. And then this happens. So I mean, the transmission really has been the freaking Achilles heel of this truck. It is now the fourth transmission-related problem this truck's had in its life, because it had the transmission replaced once before I got it. So 5Rs really are built like crap. Or something went haywire. I don't know. Like I said, we don't have an exact cause on the transmission failure or the fire, but we do know that as far as damage goes, the transmission's donezo, and there's an electrical problem that we need to sort out. But the shop is not holding up their end of the deal on that. They said that if they fixed the transmission, not including the damage from the fire, to get it running right, it would be about $2,000 for the transmission. I think their estimate is more like $1,800, but close enough to $2,000. So I'm going to say about $2,000 in total. Which is a lot for not even guaranteeing that it can still run. That's kind of the main problem here, is that they'll fix the transmission, but we still don't know at the end of the day if it'll come home with a new transmission again. And then we notice the electrical issues are there, and we're like, that was not worth the money. So what we've decided to do is to bring the truck home without getting the transmission replaced by them. We're going to look into it ourselves, do our own damage report, and kind of see what all we're working with in terms of the electrical problem. Obviously the transmission, self-explanatory. We drop it, we put a new one in, done. Or we'll get into something later that I've been debating. It's not really something that we've talked about, me and my dad in particular have talked about, because obviously he's my mad scientist when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I've never done anything like this, so I'm excited to have the prospect of changing my own transmission. But as far as this all goes, we're bringing the truck home to my house, obviously, and going to be looking over it, doing our own damage assessment. So we're not technically out of the woods. For those that were keep the sport track, we're not out of the woods yet. We still may not be able to salvage this. There's a good chance that we get it back and the electrical issues are just too far gone, and that repairing it is out of our skill or out of whatever we can do. We don't know the damage on that, so there's no telling what all is damaged and how much it'll cost to fix. So that's kind of our main concern with this, is that we still don't know the electrical side of things. We know the transmission side of things is going to be about $2,000 either way, regardless of whether I go with a second-hand transmission or a rebuilt transmission from somewhere else and put it in ourselves, or about $2,000 to get it done through them. But we want to kind of see the electrical side first before we do that, and that's kind of why we're bringing it home, because The shop was just going to replace the transmission and send it home. No electrical fixes, no anything. We just have a brand new transmission. Again, we don't know the extent of the electrical damage, so that's kind of our issue at hand while we're going to be bringing it home, so we can look at it and be like, that's our problem, and then fix it. Then we'll worry about the transmission after that. So the truck will be coming home. We'll do our own damage assessment. We'll try to figure out what our plan going forward is, and then we'll begin a long process of tearing it down and fixing it. Obviously, this will be a ton of videos for you guys. I plan on bringing it back as an episodic series because I haven't done an episodic series in forever, and I love doing it with the old Project Explorer stuff, which people might remember if you've been watching that long. If you have, that's awesome. And the Caffeine and Not Same vlog series was also an episodic series. And I think it's probably going to be great to bring it back for, one last time for, a truck rising from the ashes figuratively and literally. And I think that's probably the best way to go forward with it. So that's kind of what we're doing. The shop is not holding up their end of the deal. Again, not naming people because I don't want to do hit pieces or anything. That's not my thing. I don't want to ruin people's lives or their income regardless of how I feel about the situation. And we're bringing it home, doing our own damage assessment, fixing the thing up ourselves if it's not too far gone. And that'll be kind of what we do. My plan is to also try to take down some other problems with it as we go, depending on if money allows. Money's kind of tight due to a certain virus that I can't name aloud. And we have obviously been strapped for cash because of work, because of said virus. I haven't made a lot of money, so it's kind of a bit of an issue that I'm not making a lot of money because I'm not able to work very much because my employer, which is my mom, as a core reporter, because I work for her, also isn't working very much. So it's like her not getting work, me not getting work. It's kind of that kind of thing. And so I am going to try to shoot for possibly getting a higher paying job after the truck is up and running again, regardless of how much work we get done with it. Obviously, our main focus is fixing the electrical problem, getting a transmission put in it, done. That's kind of our main focus, is to get it driving and get it functioning again. But obviously, if money allows, I'm gonna spend some time fixing other problems. I'm gonna fix the AC, the crank pulley, the timing tensioners on the exterior side of things, possibly patch whatever happened with the exhaust, because I still don't know exactly what happened with it. Try to patch that up, possibly even header wrap it to try to keep it from causing something like this again, lower IATs, stuff like that. As much as I like how the colored pipes look under the hood, I think it'd probably be smarter to put header wrap on it that kind of mitigate this. And I should have done that from the get-go. That is something I will fully admit was a bad decision on my part. It was not putting header wrap on it, because tubular headers, they don't really disperse heat like a short cast or a cast log. So obviously that's going to make my IATs, as it explains why my IATs are so high. But anyway, so that's kind of what we're doing. We're bringing it home. We're going to check over the electrical side of things. We're going to, as long as the electrical side is good, we're going to begin a long process of salvaging the truck and fixing it. Obviously, if the damage is too far gone, we'll part it out. We'll get a new car. No big deal. Well, still a big deal because money's tight, but do our best to part it out for as much as we can and then get another car. At the end of the day, the goal is to kind of get it running, and then we'll pick up right where we left off. We'll work towards all the other projects that I've planned, getting the vinyl wrap done, which is still very high on my priority list, and kind of working towards perfecting it and as a daily driver as well as a autocross truck. I talked briefly on Instagram about this. I do intend on it once it's returned to turn it into a slight autocross truck. So a lot of people don't know that trucks have become kind of popular for autocross, especially stuff like C10s and old F100s. And I kind of want to try it out. I mean, I think it'd be fun. I think it's probably better suited for autocross than drag racing due to the 4.0's inabilities to make high horsepower reliably. And sure, you could make one on a drag truck if we swap the engine, but there's no way in the world you're doing it on a 4.0. I think for me, it makes most sense to kind of take advantage of what the full bolt-on setup can offer once it's retuned and has the AM intake on it by doing autocross. And it's a small, lighter truck, and I think it's probably better suited for it than people would think. Obviously, the limiting factor is the automatic, which gets into my next thing, which is I'm looking into, I haven't really talked this over with my dad at all, we're looking into possibly manual swapping the truck. I feel like when we're going through all this work to replace the automatic, we're going to have the drive shaft out and the transmission out. I think putting in a little bit of extra man hours to put a clutch pedal in, amount of shifter, amount of manual transmission into it, and a clutch and everything might be worth it. Obviously, the hardest problem out of all of this, I feel like, is the computer. That's probably the biggest limiting factor, because I have OBD inspections here. I don't have to do like a full-fledged inspection and put my junk on a lift, but they can literally, they plug it in and check it, all that stuff. So obviously if I put a manual computer in that does the different VIN, it's going to be like, that's not right. And I'm going to, not be able to pass emissions. So my main focus is trying to work with Unleashed once it gets retuned, if that's the route we try to decide to go, before I go and invest in a manual ECU. See if Unleashed can try to rewrite the system to make it think it's a stick shift truck and not throw, every code underneath the sun for a transmission failure. That's kind of what we're looking into, is kind of trying. There's not a lot of write-ups on manual swaps, so there may be more involved than that. I don't know. But that's kind of something we're looking into, is trying to perfect the truck's biggest flaw and get this thing running tip-top shape and driving better than ever, and set it up for autocross, because I really want to do that. But that's kind of that. I mean, that's kind of the goal, is to kind of just get this thing home, see what can be salvaged, if it can be salvaged ourselves with our own eyes. I mean, it's been gone a month and some change, and the shop really didn't get much to look at it. They got short-staffed due to the virus. And obviously I've been working with customer cars, so they obviously haven't had much more time to look into it more than the transmission having issues, and that there is some sort of electrical problem with the ignition. But yeah, that's kind of that. Did a good job. I didn't keep this video too long. I hope you all enjoyed. Go check out all the links and stuff in the banner. I updated a lot about the YouTube channel while I've been taking a break from uploading, so be sure to go check all that out. I have the Discord, the Facebook group, and the subreddit all in the banner, so if you guys want to join all three, feel free to. That's where I actually posted the news first, outside of the truck coming back home. That way I save it for YouTube. But I posted about that we'd gotten the assessment done with the transmission side of things on the Discord and the subreddit first. So if you guys want behind the scenes stuff, go check those out. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more content coming soon. I will see you guys next time, and take care. Hope you guys are excited to see the truck come home.